Peace, peace. What's happening, y'all? What's happening? What's happening? Give me a second. Y'all already know what it is. Y'all already know what it is. Give me a second, y'all. Peace, peace. What's happening, Lou? One. OG American, what's happening? Nidal, what's good? We said, would Thoth be Anunnaki and Sumerian? What's happening, vegan? Um, that's a good question. We're gonna have to deep dive into that probably on part two. Sister Soul in the building. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Y'all like the live, share the live, hit that repost. We about to get started in just a second. Trying to get everything situated real quick. Okay. So I got the incense going, got the purifier going, coffee good. All right. Man, shout out to everybody that's in here, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. We took 2 days off. Now we right back with it. Today, like I promised y'all, we're gonna break down Thoth, multiple gods, everything like that, right? You know, this is a lot of a Gnostic, esoteric, and history that's applied to it, okay? All right. So shout out to everybody that's in here. How many of y'all know about Thoth? Or like when it comes to your knowledge about Thoth, is it like basic, Egyptian god type shit, or deep information about them? Y'all let me know so I know how far to go. 555. Dynasty University, what's happening? Peace, peace. Y'all let me know so I know how far to go. How much do you know about Thoth? OG America said the basic. Okay, I got you. What's happening, Breeze? Peace, peace. Okay. Anybody else? What's happening, Jay? Health, wealth, what's happening? When it comes to the Egyptian god, how much do y'all know about Thoth? So while y'all answering them, get my paper plane together, y'all already know what it is. Roll it if you got it, if you at home, fresh off work. If you on the East Coast, Midwest, I don't know what time y'all get off, but if you off, go ahead and get yours together, because we in for a nice live, dope live. Matter of fact, let me share this live. What's happening, Big C? Let me get my shares out real quick. If y'all just coming in, hit that repost, share it to y'all story. You know what I'm saying? Share it to people who, might like this information. You know what I'm saying? So let me get my shares out real quick. Oh, the gas is strong with this one. Peace, peace. Ether, what's happening? Hold on, y'all. Let me get my shares out. Shalom, shalom. What's happening, Lola? Peace, peace. Okay, I got all my shares out. All right, y'all. Y'all get that repost going. We about to get started in just a second. All right. Yeah. Y'all supposed to be telling me how much y'all know about Thoth, the Egyptian god. How much do y'all know about it? Y'all know about basic, regular shit? Or you know some deep, deep stuff? Somebody said, I've read the tablets. What's happening, Sister Soul? You said you read the tablets? Oh, we gonna read the tablets too. Yeah, we gonna read a little bit of the tablets. We gonna do all that. What's happening, E-Flow? Peace, peace. Said basic. We got you. We got you. Take this band-aid off my finger, man. Got that paper cut. Ended up getting a paper cut at work. Boy, that thing was painful. I take it off my finger now. So Thoth, the Atlantean. One of the key words is the Atlantean. The Atlantean, right? The Atlantean. That's that key word that I hope everybody is seeing and catching on to. You know what I'm saying? The Atlantean. Now, we did deep diving research. We got books. We got sources. We already know where Atlantis is at. It ain't sunk. Only a small portion of Atlantis sunk. But Atlantis is still here. You know what I'm saying? They're still here chilling. You know, with people on it. All right. So, yeah. So, could Thoth be an American? Could he be an American god? Thoth. Could all the Egyptian and Greek gods be American gods? It's just one reason why they don't teach American history. Out of all the continents, America is the only continent whose history is not taught. And don't nobody find that fishy? Nobody find that strange? You learn about Greek, Rome, you feel me? You learn about Germany, Japan, you know what I'm saying? You learned about a lot of these places, but what they never taught you is American history. And you live in America. That's what's crazy. Right? I wonder why though. Hopefully a lot of these answers can get answered by the end of this 3-part series that I got for y'all. This is part 1. It's a 3-part series. So, you know. But we're going to get into all that. Roll it if you got it. Pour it if you got it. About to get into some shit. Okay? About to get into some shit. That first paper plane is already together. He said he from Atlanta. Y'all silly. Peace, peace. Hello, good live, America, power, Atlantis, facts. What's happening? Peace, peace. Welcome to High Learning Book Club. Hope you enjoy the live. If this is your first time, hit that follow button. If this is your first time, so you can be notified every time I go live. All right. Is my live good? It ain't skipping. It ain't glitching. Y'all can hear me. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Said we good. Cool, cool. Just making sure. So, the god Thoth. The god Thoth is many people in history. I'm going to go ahead and start that off right now. Okay. Thoth is many people in history. All right. Today's live, we're going to go over the many different faces of Thoth, right? Not all of them, but we're going to go through probably like a top 8. Okay, we're going to go through a top 8 different faces of Thoth in history that a lot of people don't know. A lot of people still worshiping Thoth today. A lot of people not worshiping Thoth today because, you know, A lot of information was stripped from them. Right? We're gonna get into it. All right, we're gonna get into it. But there's always a breadcrumb and paper trail, right? And we're gonna follow the paper trail all the way back to the root, and we're gonna figure out what influence did he have on early Christianity, and what influence do he still have today? And it's gonna blow a lot of people's minds when we start hitting on certain key things. All right. So we got 15 people in here. We probably gonna go ahead and get started. Let me share it out one more time too. Just trying to make sure I got it. Let me put it on my story real quick. All right. So we're gonna start here. Who is Thoth the Atlantian? What's that in the Matrix? Who is Thoth the Atlantian? Do anybody know who Thoth is? All right. Anybody know who Thoth is? And if you can you kindly tell me who he is? Who is Thoth? Who you know Thoth to be? Or Thoth? Is Thoth the one who brought intelligence to humanity? Yes, Thoth is the one that brought intelligence to humanity. Teacher of knowledge. Facts. Okay. Okay. The teacher of knowledge. Okay. Thoth is the teacher of knowledge, brought intelligence to humanity. Okay. Scrolls, scripts, scribes. He wrote the Book of the Dead. Right? If y'all remember the movie The Mummy and everything, he wrote the Book of the Dead, right? And a lot of other books and scribes that we read today. Yep, record keeper. Facts. Appreciate that, Lola. Yep, record keeper. All right. So we know the basics, right? All right, we know the basics. Let's go ahead and dive into it. All right, let's go ahead and dive into it. So, Thoth, listen closely. Thoth is one of the most important gods in ancient Egyptian religion. He was known as the god of wisdom, writing, knowledge, magic, and the moon, right? He was also known as the god of the moon. How many of y'all knew that? Was that in Brittany? How many of y'all knew that Thoth was also known as the god of the moon, or the moon symbolizes him? Right? The moon. And listen to what he's the god of. The god of wisdom. Right? Sophia wisdom, maybe? What's that in theirs? Right? The god of wisdom. Sophia, maybe? Right? The god of wisdom. Writing, knowledge, math. Right? That sounds like a specific group of people that we done talked about spreading civilization. Right? Oh, CEO, what's that in wisdom? Right? Colonizer, what's that in? The god of wisdom, writing, knowledge, and magic, right? That sounds like a specific group of people who left America to go spread civilization around the world, right? What's that in, Rashad? Hope y'all ain't sleep. All right. So Thoth was known as the god of wisdom, writing, knowledge, magic, and the moon. Okay. What Thoth was known for? Ancient Egyptians believed Thoth invented writing in hieroglyphs. All right. Invented writing in hieroglyphs, right? That is key. Hieroglyphs, right? He was the scribe of the gods, the one who recorded everything, right? Recorded everything. Kept the balance of the universe, helped judge souls in the afterlife, was a master of magic, science, and knowledge, right? Alchemy, chemistry, right? Okay. In the afterlife ceremony described in the Book of the Dead, Thoth recorded the results when a person's heart was weighed against the feather of Mayat. Okay, Mayat. Now, before we keep going, ancient Egyptians, it's not over there. Egypt is in America. America's the real old world. All right, Egypt is over here, not over there. So ancient Egypt, okay? That's for one. All right, that's one. Mayat. What's that in too gracious? Mayat. Mayat. Now, Thoth, do anybody know who Thoth's parents are? All right. What's happening? We got 26 people in here. Let's get 26 reposts popping. Do y'all know who Thoth's mother is? What's happening? GMB, peace. Who is Thoth's mother? And don't hop on Google either. Who is his mother? Excuse me. It's okay to say I don't know, right? If you don't know, you know, you could just say you don't know. Maya. His mother was Maya. Facts, too gracious. Facts. Too gracious said it. Thoth's mother is Maya. Mayat. They call you Mayate. Mayate, Maya. What is the significance between that? Calling 555 on the clock. Calling Black Americans Mayate, right? Maya, you Maya. We talking about Thoth, the Atlantian, whose mother is Maya, which also can translate into Mayat. 42 laws of Mayat is the 42 laws of Maya. Uh-oh. How many of y'all knew that? 42 laws of Mayat is 42 laws of Maya. Mayate. What's that in this saint? Because in this live, I'm going to ask y'all a question again. I'm going to ask y'all this question right now, and then I'm going to ask y'all again in the middle of the live. And the question is, right? And the question is, are Black Americans connected to Thoth, the Atlantean? Right? Are Black Americans connected to Thoth, the Atlantean? What y'all think? Ether said yes. Anybody else? We got 30 people in here. Just get 30 reposts jumping. You say yes too, Brittany? Okay. Copper said no. Not in the way you're positioning. What is posting? Postinging? What is that? What is that? What you trying to say, Copper? The Atlantean, yes, okay. You said positioning, maybe. I do that with everybody that come in here and do that. Flo said yes. Okay. I say I say yes too. I say yes as well too. I say yes as well too. Right? Because a person don't know how I'm positioning my life because we just now getting started. What's happening 216? Peace, peace. Right? To posit is assume as a fact, put forward as basis of argument. Oh, okay. You taught me a new vocabulary word. Appreciate that. But no, I'm not assuming nothing. Right? I'm not assuming nothing. I'm definitely not arguing. You really don't know what my live about because it just started. So all I've been doing is asking questions this whole time. So I haven't really presented nothing. I haven't really presented nothing. I've been asking questions this whole time. We got 35 people in here, man. Just get 35 reposts jumping, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. You said when you understand history, how could we not? That's what I'm talking about, Saint. Appreciate that, fam. So what's happening? Look up. So we just getting a little background, right? We just covering the bases and getting a little background, right? Um, Reading over some things people probably never even heard of or never knew. What's happening, Stewie? So what did he look like? Thoth was usually depicted as a man with the head of an ibis bird. What's happening, D? Right? You said y'all trying to be everything except for African. Well, Egypt is in Africa, fam. Am I wrong? It's 37 people in here. Am I wrong? Ain't Egypt in Africa? Isn't this like some African shit that we talking about? Or African-ish. African-ish, right? You trying to be everything but African. But here I am talking about. I know the Abyss is American, but I'm saying for the trolls, right? I know what we teaching y'all, but I'm talking about for the trolls that's coming in here surface level, right? They call us Africans. So, I mean, on some surface level shit, I'm teaching Egyptian. So, ain't Egypt in Africa? On some surface level shit, ain't Egypt in Africa? So, I mean, you said y'all not indigenous to America though, so stay African. You don't know what I'm indigenous to. You just a racist ass person. You just a racist person. You don't even know me. Africa, Egypt was in America first. I know that, wisdom. That's not what I'm being sarcastic, wisdom. I'm being sarcastic. You said you're not that type of African brother. I know that, y'all. I am being sarcastic. We have a troll in here. Trolls are stupid. They don't know what we know. I know America's the real old world, okay? But we're speaking stupidity language with the stupid troll. He says, why not be Africa? And I'm talking about Egyptian shit. So I asked him, isn't Egypt in Africa? He hasn't replied yet. So, oh, wait. Shout out to everybody that's in here, but I appreciate everybody. You said, I don't think you should be sarcastic if you think America came first, sir. Well, I can tell that this is your first time into my live. Welcome to High Learning Book Club. Roll it if you got it. Pour your coffee if you got it. I can tell this is y'all first time. Y'all don't know my way of teaching. You can't critique my way of teaching. You can't tell me what I should and what I can not do inside of my classroom. It's up for you to get it. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. I'm not here for that. I'm not here to hold your hand. What's happening, Gus? You said don't teach no more, my brother. Get educated. All right, Ty. How about come up here real quick and talk to me? I got a little bit of time today. I hope y'all don't mind it here. I got a little time today. Yeah, let's see how well you're educated. Come up here. I ain't been on in 2 days. Come up here. It's just man, they made new trolls, right? Man, Lord have mercy. All right, Ty. Let me go ahead and escort you, fam. Hey man, shout out to everybody that's in here. The trolls don't never want to come up. You know, hey, that's how you know that you be teaching some of that good shit. Man, the information that we be hitting on, it be making the trolls scared to come up. If people were so certain in what they were saying, if people were so certain that I was teaching wrong, when I send you that invite, you should be coming up ready. Sources and everything. Because if you're willing to prove me wrong in the comments, you could do it on the panel with sources. But you know how that go though. But yeah, keep going though. So because they ain't even let me get into the live first before they start trolling. They don't even know where I'm going with this, right? They don't even know what I'm talking about. And I dare yeah. So shout out to everybody that's in here, man. Y'all like the live, share the live. We got 35 people in here. Let's get 35 reposts going real quick for your boy. Thank you for the gifts. So what did he look like? He looked like a man with an ibis bird head. Sometimes Thoth is depicted as a baboon. How many of y'all knew that Thoth was also depicted as a baboon sometimes? Was that an or peace? How many of y'all knew that he was depicted as a baboon sometimes? So, the ibis bird was connected to wisdom in writing in Egyptian symbolism. Okay, the ibis bird was connected to wisdom in writing in Egyptian symbolism. Okay, his main center of worship was the ancient city of Hermopolis. Right, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. I'm gonna touch on that. Hermopolis. All right, Hermopolis was his ancient city, center of worship. Right, which Egyptians believed was where creation began, right? Egyptians believe creation started in Hermopolis, okay? That boy said I'm choking on fufu, but yet you inside my live though. Let me go ahead and escort you, because it seems like your thumbs broke, all right? That boy said I'm choking on fufu. Oh, Lord have mercy. That nigga could have said I was choking on some cornbread or something. You know, like he could have said something that was more cultural towards me and my people. Oh, that nigga choking on cornbread. You know, if you want to be funny with some racist jokes, you know, that nigga he choking on pig feet. Like, you know, you got to say something culturally accurate. I have never ate fufu a day in my life. Never will. But I am on that Sophia lettuce. Facts, Utopia was happening. So, why he was important? Why is Thoth important, right? Why is Thoth important? Thoth was considered the divine intellect of the gods, okay? He is considered the divine intellect of the gods. Kind of symbolizing Sophia a little bit, but excuse me, we're going to put a pin in it, right? So calculated time and calendars, created language and mathematics, and helped maintain cosmic order. Now, again, this sounds like a group of people that we all know, right? A group of people who created language, mathematics, cosmic order with cosmology, calculated times and calendars. That sounds like a specific group of people who took civilization around the world that we all done read about, right? The reason why I keep asking that is because are Black Americans connected to Thoth? Because the reason why I'm asking that is because in the beginning of Genesis, all the gods was at council and they said, let us make man in our likeness and image. Let us are multiple gods, right? And all through history and all through life, all the gods that you ever heard about was what? Buddha, Vishnu, Brahma, right? All the Egyptian gods, Thoth, you know what I'm saying? Zeus, etc., etc., etc. Even though some of these guys are the same deity, I'm just throwing out names, right? So what if these guys were the council that was like, let us make man in our image? Now, we know that all the gods were so-called black or dark skin, right? But phenotypically different, right? Phenotypically different, right? You could be so-called black or dark or blue with straight hair, or you can resemble Asiatic Buddha and have woolly hair, right? Or you got depictions of Kukulkan Khan and Quetzalcoatl over here and all the American gods, right? And then you got the Roman gods and the dark-skinned Europeans on that end, right? So the whole world is melanated, so is the gods. And I'm saying it because technically, regionally, everybody still got their God except for Black Americans. What's that in the Copper King? Right? Everybody got their God still to this day, except for Black Americans. And what do I mean by that? Well, Asia still got Buddha. India and Hindustan, they still got Shiva and all of them. Okay? The Roman Empire, the Holy Roman Empire still got Baal or Baal. Right? And so on and so forth. Right? But then when you get to Black Americans and you ask us, hey, so who is our God? Or our specific deity? Some of us don't know, some of us don't care to know, some of us don't believe in God. Which is crazy, but well, I tell you what, if I wanted to enslave a group of people, the first thing I would do is disconnect you spiritually and from your God. I took the image from your God a long time ago and I hid it. And then when I represented it, you were unfamiliar with them. Thoth the Atlantian. That's why I told you. The Atlantian is key. Why? Why? Because Atlantis is America. Like I've always been telling y'all. And I can prove it. And y'all know I can. What's happening, Lila? Peace. Thoth the Atlantean. Atlantis is America. Who is the American Indian? Who's the American Indian? Who left America and took mathematics, cosmology, and cosmic order, medicine, pyramid building, language, letters? Who took that around the world and civilized the world? And let me give you a little gem, and we're going to touch on it later on in the live. I'm going to give y'all a little gem. The followers of Thoth were called children of the sun. You can research that. Matter of fact, you ain't even got to research it because we're going to cover it in this live. But the followers of Thoth and the 7 sages were called children of the sun. Sun also means soul. Children of the soul. It takes a soul to be aligned cosmology and cosmically. It takes a soul to create phonics and vibration, which turns into words. It takes a soul to create and invent and innovate. Are Black Americans connected to Thoth? Inside the Emerald Tablets, it says, I, Thoth, the Atlantean. America, The Atlantean, American. The Atlantean, American. That nigga might be from Atlanta, shawty. ATL. Shit, matter of fact, ATL, those three letters were created in America by the Indians, the Mayans, the Olmecs. Let me find out Thoth from the south side. That man is Atlantean. Okay? Masters of mysteries, keepers of records, mighty king, magician, living from generation to generation, being about to pass into the halls of Amenti, set down for the guidance of those that are to come after. These records of the mighty wisdom of great Atlantis. Great Atlantis. That would be America. Y'all see the date, 1600s. They always knew where Atlantis was at. They lied to you. Oh, Atlantis sunk. Oh, it's a mythical place. Of course they gonna tell you that. That don't mean they believe that. They know what America is. That's why everybody keep coming over there, bit. Niggas, people come here and don't want to leave. Israel's supposed to be the homeland of the little hat people. Why the little hat people ain't leave yet to their homeland? That motherfucker been established since 1937, 1940 or some shit like that. Motherfucker been established. Niggas ain't left yet. They still in New York fucking shit up. That's because it was never about over there. It's never about over there. It's about right here. All that shit is a distraction. Hey, appreciate that. All of that's a distraction. America's the promised land. It is here in America. It is. If Egypt is inside of America, so is Israel, Canaan, Jerusalem, and every other city that surrounded Egypt at that time. When you walk, right? If you was to walk from Peru to Utah, Utah, if you was to walk from Jerusalem to Utah, that's 40 days and 40 nights. Real talk. Oh, I Google mapped it. You probably be off like a day, but shit, 39, 40, nigga, 40 days, 40 nights from Peru to Utah. Right? The Fertile Crescent is right there where the Yucatan at. Right? You see the crescent? Right there where the Yucatan at. The Fertile Crescent. The real Fertile Crescent, which leads into the Nile, which is Mississippi. The Old Testament is about America. And if the Old Testament is about America, that means ancient Egypt, ancient Jerusalem, all that, right here in America. Exactly. That's why they told y'all that they use homeland as Israel over there, but they was really talking about here. That's why they ain't never left. But one thing, they can't never call themselves an Israelite though. They gonna always call themselves Israelis, never Israelite. They can't call themselves that. They cannot call themselves that, and they'll never call themselves that. Peep gang, what's happening? Dark Mother, what's happening? Red Line, just keep going though, right? The land of Sham, right? It's the land of Sham. Saying is America's the land of Sham. Ham, Africa, so-called Africa, what we call Africa, right? Ham, Japhet, Europe or Eastern Europe with Gog and Magog, the Mongolians and all them, right? Japhet, Ham, Shem, gotta be America. And then you got Esau and Cain, will be some parts of Western Europe and in America, because biblically they said that our so-called brothers will live in the tents of Shem, right? First they said the Canaanites will live in the tents of Shem. Then they said the Japhet will also live in the tents of Shem. And if you pay attention, all these niggas is coming to America, the tent of Shem. And they just dwelling around this motherfucker. Because they said they'll be dwelling around this motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? All of it makes sense when you know how to read it. There's a lot of people that on this app that don't know how to read between the lines on this shit. All right? They be so quick to disavow that Atlantis shit. That Atlantis shit don't work, man. The Plato and it's some bullshit. Nah, it ain't no bullshit. You just don't know how to read shit. You can't use that Atlantis in a debate. I don't give a fuck about a debate, nigga. My ancestor is not up for no debate, and I'm not about to debate with no goddamn brick wall. A lot of you niggas be on this app debating with brick walls. Neither one of you niggas learn anything from each other, because that's the purpose of a debate. You're supposed to bring the facts, the sources, but at the end, it's supposed to be iron sharpens iron. Y'all supposed to take something from each other at the end of it. Y'all niggas don't even know how to debate. Y'all just want to argue and yell at a motherfucker. Fuck all that debating shit. I don't debate stupid people. You ever try to argue with a stupid motherfucker? You'll be there for 10 hours. Look up, it be midnight. Damn, I've been arguing with your ass all day. Let me take my ass home. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got time for that. But what I can do is break down these books, chew up the meat, spit out the bones, and put the puzzle pieces together for everybody. If you know that Atlantis is America and America is Atlantis, then hey, nigga, it can't be a mythical place if your ass is living in America. Right? It can't be a mythical place if you're living in America right now. They just called it Atlantis because that's what the Mayans told them. Remember when I read to y'all the Mayans in Rome? Everybody, well, who the fuck did Plato get it from? The Mayans. For one, like I told you, ATL are 3 letters that was created from here. So Plato and everybody overseas couldn't call nobody no Atlantean because they didn't have the ATL letters. It's like certain places didn't have a J, right? So that means that the inventors of the ATL had to tell them that. This is why I be telling a lot of folks that y'all be giving credit and power to a lot of motherfuckers that, how you know that we didn't tell these people this shit? How you know we didn't tell people we Indians, Americans, Amarukins, Amarukapana, right? How you know we didn't tell them that we American? Remember, a lot of this shit is Angloized. 2026, a lot of words is Angloized, meaning it's been simplified. A lot of this stuff is not spelled or pronounced like how it was back then. But once you know about Angloization of words, that can help you start tracing shit back and get these damn history books that I thought we were supposed to be reading. You know what I'm saying? Didn't the Phoenicians start some sort of the alphabet? Yes. The Phoenicians are from America. The Phoenicians is one of the children of the sun, right? But we're going to get into all that. It's a reason why they rewrote history, flipped maps, and lied to Black Americans specifically, right? But we're going to get into it. But first, records of the mighty wisdom of great Atlantis, America, in 1600, called Atlantis Insula. Okay? I'm going to blow that up for everybody here in a second, but let's keep going, though. Shout out to everybody that's in here. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for the likes, the love, the gifts. All right? We got 54 people in here. Let's get 54 reposts jumping. What's happening, Raw? I want to get into this right here. All right. What's happening, Shepherd? Peace, peace. I want to get into this right here called the Emerald Tablets of Thoth the Atlantian. Okay, y'all can screenshot this if you want to. What's happening, Ethereal Goddess? The Emerald Tablets of Thoth the Atlantian. All right. Y'all know where I get these books from. I ain't got to say it no more. Archives. Y'all know. Pablo was at it. All right. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth the Atlantian. All right, let's flip this page. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let's begin to work. Hey, peace. I already know, man. Hey, do what you got to do, man. Don't work too hard, though. Give them people just enough. Just like how they be giving us just enough. Give them just enough. So, Emerald Tablets. 1. The history of Thoth the Atlantian. What's that in Bloom? I, Thoth the Atlantian, masters of mysteries, keepers of records, mighty king, magician, living from generation to generation, being about to pass into the halls of Amenti, set down for the guidance of those that are to come after. These records of the mighty wisdom of great Atlantis, America, in the great city of Keor, on the island of Udal, in a time far past. I began this incarnation, right? Not as the little men of the present age did the mighty ones of Atlantis live and die, but rather from eon to eon did they renew their life in the halls of Amentes, where the river of life flows internally onward, okay? 100 times 10 have I descend the dark way that led into light, and as many times have I ascended from the darkness into the light. Gnosticism. My strength and power renewed. Now for a time I descend, and the men of Cam, right? Cam, shall know me no more. So he's telling you, okay, I'm about to descend once again. The men of Kim shall know me no more, right? I'm disappearing, right? I'm disappearing. Maybe that's one of the reasons why sometimes people call on God and they be like, man, God ain't answering. He descended, and the men of Kim shall know me no more, maybe. I don't know. But in a time yet unborn, I will rise again. That sound familiar, right? Don't that sound familiar? In a time yet unborn, I will rise again, right? Immaculate Conception. Again, mighty and potent, requiring an accounting of those left behind me. Then beware, O men of Kim, if ye have falsely betrayed my teachings, for I shall cast ye down for your high estate into the darkness of the caves from whence ye came. I shall send you back to the caves from whence ye came. Now, when you do the etymology of the word Africa, it's going to tell you a cave dweller. When you say the word Cam, it has Ham, as in Hamites, right? So-called Africa. Who is the cave dwellers? Where did the cave dweller come from for real? They didn't start in the Caucasus Mountains. They got sent to the Caucasus Mountains. Because remember, they started off as albinos at first, right? The curse, right? So-called curse. All right. So if they betray my teachings, right? Because we, civilized in the world, right? If you betray my teachings, I should send you back to the caves in which you came. Betray not my secrets to the men of the north or the men of the south, lest my curse fall upon ye. Right? Don't tell nobody, not the north, not the south. Remember and heed my words, for surely will I return again and require of thee that which ye guard. Even from beyond time and from beyond death will I return, rewarding or punishing as ye have requited your trust. Great were my people in the ancient days, great beyond the conception of the little people now around me, knowing the wisdom of old, seeking far within the hearts of affinity knowledge that belong to earth's youth. Earth's youth, right? The youth, you feel me? Wise were we with the wisdom of the children of light. You see what they called you? Children of light, children of sun, children of the sun, children of light, children of wisdom, children of soul, right? We with the wisdom of the children of light, children of sun, right? Who dwelt among us. Strong were we with the power of dawn, or drawn from the eternal fire, right? Soul. And from all temples linked between the children of light who dwelt within the temples and the races of men who inhabited the 10 islands. Mouthpiece after the three of the dwellers in Unal speak to the kings with the voice that must be obeyed. All right, appreciate the gifts, y'all. Once you read, you will see the correlation and understand it may be the original story. I'm gonna check it out, Stewie. I'm gonna definitely check it out. All right. So grew I there from a child into manhood, being taught by my father, right? His father. For those who don't know, if I'm not mistaken, his father is Ra, or, well, in Greek mythology, Zeus. Right, Zeus, his father, right? Because his mother is Maya, his daddy is so-called Zeus. And they gave birth to him. Okay, but we'll get into all that. But for right now, being taught by my father, right? The elder mysteries, until in time there grew within the fire of wisdom, until it burst into the consuming flame. Naught desired I but the attainment of wisdom until a great day. Hold on. I almost lost my spot. All right. Until a great day. Shout out to everybody that's in here. Hold on. All right. Until a great day, the command among the children of men who had looked upon that mighty face and lived. For not as the sons of men are the children of light, when they are not incarnated in a physical body. For not as the sons of men, right, are the children of light when they are not incarnated in a physical body. Okay. Chosen, right? Chosen was I from the sons of men, taught by the dweller, so that his purpose might be fulfilled. Purpose yet unborn in the womb of time. Long ages I dwelt in the temples, learning ever and yet ever more wisdom, until I too appreciated the light emitted from the great fire. Taught me he the path to Amenti, the underworld, where the great king sits upon his throne of might, Deep I bow in homage before the lords, right? Before the lords of life and the lords of death, receiving as my gift the key of life, the Ankh. All right, the Ankh, the key of life, the Ankh. You want to know how I know that you are the child of the sun? You want to know how I know that you are a children of the sun, child of the sun? You want to know how epigenetics is telling me that we connected to Thoth on the low ski? Because Black Americans are technically The only people I really be seeing that got the unk tatted on them. We got the unk everywhere. Bro, we be representing the unk more than Africans do. Y'all ever notice that? Y'all ain't never questioned that or paid attention to that? We represent the unk more than Africans do, bro. That should be crazy. I ain't never seen an African just all unked up, nigga, earrings, tats. You know what I'm saying? Like, mother don't they don't even give a fuck about the Egyptian history for real. They don't even talk about it. We don't give a fuck about that. You like, damn, nigga. And this supposed to be a great civilization in y'all so-called history. I'm just saying, like, I kind of noticed that. I mean, shit, I got a big ass unk on my neck right now. You know what I'm saying? You said my dad got an unk tattoo. He don't even know the origins of it. You see, the epigenetics. Something just drew him to it. You know, because they let Arabs run their shit. That too. Or maybe they not children of the sun. Some of those Africans ain't African. Remember? Some of those Africans ain't African. A lot of these Indians went over there to so-called Africa. Remember that? But we gonna get into it. We gonna get into it. But Thoth is telling you that he started off as a mortal. Okay? He's telling you he started off as a mortal. Okay? He started off as a mortal, a man. Okay? And he became divine or God once he got the wisdom. Lord of life, Lord of death. Book of life, book of death. Eat from the fruits. You become like the gods, having knowledge of good and bad, life and death. Right, people? Maybe Thoth was the serpent in the garden. The serpent is also tied to Thoth. But he said, I received as my gift the key of life. Free was I of the halls of Amenti, bound not by death to the circle of life. Far, far to the stars I journeyed until space and time became as naught. Then, having drunk deep of the cup of wisdom, I looked into the hearts of men, and there I found a greater mystery and was glad. For only in the search for the truth could my soul be stilled and the flame within quenched. Okay? Swing over here, right? Let me swing this way real quick, right? That's why they were punished in their story. Yeah, you become enlightened fast. So let's go right here. Because these are epithets. Okay? These are epithets. Right? For those who don't know, epithet, and I'm probably butchering that, but it's like another name that somebody is called, right? It's another name that somebody is called, right? And I'm saying that, for those who don't know, right? Oh, hold on. I done jumped ahead. Hold on, hold on. I done jumped ahead. Hold on, y'all. Y'all ain't supposed to be seeing all that. So let's go back here. So epithet is just another name that a person is called. Now, for those who don't know, Thoth or Thoth is also Hermes in Greek mythology, right? In Greek mythology, Thoth is Hermes. Hermes is Thoth. All right. Hermes Since Thoth is Hermes, Hermes is Thoth, that means Hermes is also an Atlantide, right? As you see up top, right? Remember we read about the Atlantides, right? We read about the Atlantides in a lot of books, right? Hermes was also called Atlantide, okay? Because of his mother, Maya, was the daughter of Atlas, right? The god, the Titan, Atlas. They got the world on his back. America's always facing you if you was to go Google the picture, right? His mother was Maya. Thoth mother is Maya. Thoth, Hermes, same people. Or same deity, same person, okay? Cryophorus, all right? Or Corpheus, right? Which is the next name. That one we gonna get into because it is very deep, okay? This is another name that Thoth goes by, right? So you got Thoth, you got Cryophorus, okay? Cryophorus. We're gonna sit right there for a second. All right. Now, Thoth is also called the messenger. Hermes, also known as the messenger. Angels, or an angel, is also known as a messenger, right? A mounted courier, right? Hermes, carrier, carry messages, scrolls, knowledge, intelligence. Okay? Angel, messenger, Thoth. All right? All right? Now, when we get into the Hermetics, since we know Thoth is Hermes, Hermes is Thoth, that means Hermetics are Thoth's teachings. But Hermetics is dealing with occult science or alchemy. Now, occult science is what you do every time you go to the hospital and the doctor gives you some medicine and shit, right? Occult science, alchemy, chemistry, and et cetera, cosmology, astrology, and all of that, right? So Hermetics, dealing with occult science and alchemy. From the Latin Hermeticus, from Greek Hermes, god of science and art, okay? Who was identified by Neoplatonicus mystics and alchemists with the Egyptian god Thoth as Hermes. Hermes and Thoth are the same people. Exactly, Lilith. Hermes, Thoth is Hermes. Greek, Rome, he becomes Mercury. So Thoth, Hermes, Mercury, all the same person. Okay, y'all with me so far? Just want to make sure y'all with me so far before we keep going. Thoth, Hermes, Mercury, same being. Okay, in Greek it's Hermes, in Rome it's Mercury. Okay, Egypt and Atlantis, Thoth, or Thoth, Teudi. All right, y'all with me so far before we keep going? Anybody got any questions, feel free to ask. Make sure I ain't trying to lose nobody on this journey. It's been a while since I did this one. We definitely revamping something. Okay, we good, Dark Mother? All right, anybody else? So Hermetics is dealing with occult science. Occult science, right? Say that, Mama Sunbird. Everybody good? We got 50 people in here. I know y'all ain't sleep. You said Cash App down? Nah, I got a new Cash App. Hold on. I know y'all ain't sleep. Might check one to them. May send y'all to the principal office. Roll it if you got it. Hold your coffee. All right. Thoth, Hermes, Mercury. Okay. Thoth, Hermes, Mercury. Thoth, Hermes, Mercury. Now that's just the first. What's that in that O? What's that in that O, Mark? The messenger, right? What's that in there, Vaughn? Because like I said, not only are we breaking down, is he connected to us in America, but we also are checking out the different roles he played in history. Okay? We also checking out the different roles and the many faces of Thoth. Okay? Now, I'm about to throw a side gem to y'all. We know that Thoth and Hermes are the same people. Now, Hermes is also known as the trickster. Okay? Hermes is also known as the trickster. That means Thoth also like to play tricks. Which ain't no bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Playing tricks ain't, it all depends on how you playing the trick. Because, jokingly inside the black community, we like playing tricks and jokes and pranks and shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends on the level. Okay? But I just want to throw that side gem out there because there's a god in Norse mythology who is also a trickster god. There you go, Loki. So now you know Thoth, Hermes, Mercury, Loki. So that's 4 right there already. All right, that's 4 right there already. Appreciate that, Omar. Let's keep going though. So now Hermes, the son of Zeus and Maya. Maya, right? Thoth. Remember Thoth, right? Everybody has a counterpart in Greek mythology. You got to figure out who Zeus is. But Maya, Mayans, 42 laws of Mayat, and they call you a Mayate. Hold on, y'all. I don't think y'all heard me. His mother is Maya. Thoth was carrying 42 laws of Mayat. The followers of Thoth is children of the sun. And these racist folks call you a Mayate. You're Maya. Mm-hmm. We the only ones that call our kids Maya. Come on, man. So Hermes, the son of Zeus and Maya, Greek mythology, Olympian messenger. There go that messenger again, right? And god of commerce. Listen, the god of commerce, markets, and roads. Protector of herdsmen, travelers, and roads. Givers of good luck, god of secret dealings, and conductor of the dead. Conductor of the dead. I got that highlighted because I'm about to show y'all something. Conductor. Remember that. Conductor. Right? Conductor. All right. Hermes, words of the unknown origin. He was identified by the Romans with their Mercury. Right? So there we go. Right? Thoth, Hermes, Mercury, Loki. My bad, y'all. All right. Let's keep going. So each age they change names. It's kind of like it's kind of like the sun. So for an example, when the sun is in Aries, that's Buddha. No, yeah, when the sun is in Taurus, that's Buddha. When the sun is in Aries, that's Krishna. Right? If I'm not mistaken, it's about the stars and the cosmology is when they, you know what I'm saying, change a little bit. Okay? So now Thoth is also Idris when you get to the Quran in Islamic faith. Cause I'm also showing y'all. I appreciate that cash app. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. You know, appreciate it. Thank you for all the gifts and all the support, y'all. Y'all the real MVPs. So I'm also showing y'all how Thoth had an influence in so-called Christianity and Islam, right? Because when you talk about early Christianity, early Islam, remember I always told y'all that old Christianity is not the same as modern Christianity. Old Islam is not the same as modern Islam. Remember that? Because old Christianity and Islam was more of an esoteric, a Gnostic, hermetic thing. Okay? When it got corrupted with the Hellenes and the Hellenizing, then it became, they start bringing their pagan gods and start mixing it up and whoop-de-whoop-whoop, which we'll get into that in part 2, right? We ain't gonna get into all that right now. But for right now, Thoth is also known as the prophet Idris in the Quran, who is also Enoch. The book of Enoch. Yeah, Enoch. Thoth is Hermes. Hermes is Mercury. Mercury is Idris. Idris is Enoch. These are all the same people. Okay? Just different languages and regions. People have different names for the same being. But because of the confusion, we all think that these are different beings. Just like I like using the X-Men Apocalypse as an example, right? If you remember the X-Men Apocalypse, when they went to Egypt and that God risen, when the sun hit him, he risen up, right? He had the unk on his stomach and everything, and they asked him, "Hey, who are you?" He told them, "I go by many names: Krishna, Yahweh, Buddha." You know what I'm saying? He just started naming off shit. Right now, I'm showing y'all Thoth going by many names, and his keys are the Ankh. And what he was trying to do in that movie, he was trying to get rid of all the parasites, all the corruption, start the earth over, and just keep us, or the so-called mutants, safe in a world for us without all the corruption. Now, I also told y'all with psychological warfare with Hollywood that Hollywood like to make the villain the hero and the hero the villain to see if anybody gonna catch it. And if you actually go rewatch X-Men Apocalypse, the God was actually the hero while everybody was cheering for the real villain, which is the government. Because what the government want to do? The government want to experiment, dissect motherfuckers. It was racist and shit. But folks are still, yeah, look at all the superheroes, Iron Man, and that Iron Man, but yeah, you know what I'm saying, all the X-Men and Iron Man, come on, bro, y'all was cheering for motherfuckers who was helping the government. Shit, the whole time the movie playing, I was like, man, I fuck with him. I was like, shit, I fuck with him, man. You know what I'm saying? Fuck what y'all talking about. Shit, that boy touched that TV, seen all that corruption going around. He was like, oh, hell no. It's time to reset the earth. Do y'all know how many resets the earth had? When they talk about the flood, the deluge, or Noah's Ark, that was a reset because of corruption. Every time society gets corrupt, a reset happens. I'm telling you, it's a reset. Mud flood was just the most recent reset. All right. Now, when it comes to the flood happened not because the sky opened up. The flood happened because of fountains. And we have fountains on earth, if y'all don't know, right? The geysers, they be shooting up water in the air, right? Hey, appreciate that. Y'all appreciate that. Hey, look at the Irish, me pot of gold. All right. We got geysers that shoot water up. Now, if all the geysers around the world just erupt, I guarantee the flood happens. Okay? But we're going to say that for part 2, part 3, right? Right now, Thoth also is the prophet Idris and Enoch, right? Describing him as the man of truth and a prophet whom Allah, God, elevated to a high station, right? Remember, Enoch went to go live with God. Appreciate that, or appreciate it, everybody. Appreciate that, y'all. Appreciate the love, right? Remember, Enoch went to go live with God. He came down, swooped him, grabbed him, took him to heaven, and he cool now. Same thing, Idris, Enoch, right? So these verses emphasize his sincerity, priesthood, and honored status, often interpreted as being raised to high and exalted position in heaven. Okay? Idris. Thoth, Idris. All right. Thoth, right? Thoth and the prophet Idris often identified with Enoch or Hermes, which are all the same people, are figures representing the divine transmission of wisdom, writing, and science across Egyptian, Islamic, and Hellenistic traditions. While Thoth is the ancient Egyptian deity of wisdom and magic, Idris is recognized as a prophet and sage who brought heavenly knowledge to humanity. They're all the same person. Every time there was a reset, came back as somebody else. Same person, different name. Hey, who are you today? Oh shit, you can call me Enoch. What about you? Hermes, Mercury. Maybe Jesus? Maybe Jesus? I don't know. Maybe. But guess what, though? Remember what I read to you? In the etymology online, they said that he is the conductor of the underworld. Right? The conductor of the underworld. Man, the conductor of the underworld. The conductor of the underworld. Hermanubis? Hermanubis. Look at the name. Hermes. Hermetics, Hermes. Thoth. Yes, Thoth is Anubis. Right, conductor of souls. Hermes, conductor of souls, Thoth. Weighing your heart on the scale with the feather, right? Writing it down. Underworld equals subconscious, right? Look at his hand, the staff. Whose staff is that? That's Thoth's staff. Right there in plain sight. Y'all ain't never seen this picture of Anubis. Or the statue, right? Some of y'all probably have, but look at the staff. That's Thoth. That's the medicine staff, right? That's Thoth. That's Thoth. Thoth is Hermes. Hermes is Mercury, who is Idris Enoch, who is also Anubis. That's 5. That's 5 right there. That's 5. Hermanubis is a Greco-Egyptian god who conducts the soul of the dead to the underworld, a synchronistic of the Greek god Hermes and the Egyptian god Anubis. This hybrid deity emerged during the Ptolemaic and Roman periods in Egypt. Okay. Thoth. Here's number 6. Thoth is also Gabriel, right? Why? Because Gabriel is a messenger. He's the divine messenger. Thoth is a messenger. Hermes is a messenger. Gabriel. Gabriel is a prominent archangel and divine messenger in Abrahamic religions. Islam, Christianity, Judaism. Thoth, who delivers crucial messages to God, from God to humanity, known as God's strength and God's hero. He appears in scriptures in bringing news, interpreted visions, and announcing pivotal events like the birth of John the Baptist and so-called Jesus. He said, now I wonder why I get them all mixed up. Same people, right? Intermediary, messenger. All right, now, I don't want to give y'all too many names right now, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the book real quick. What's happening, Chippewa? Peace, peace. All right, we're going to go back to the book real quick before we keep going. Shout out to everybody that's in here, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all showing out tonight. Appreciate it, y'all. Appreciate it. 54 people, you get 54 reposts. Jump and roll it if you got it. Pull it if you got it. Who is Thoth? It's the title of this live. Matter of fact, let me go back to the beginning. Y'all silly. You and Lola. Chippewa. You and Lola silly. Both of y'all say it's swarthy. Tonight's live. TikTok live. Who is Thoth the Atlantian? So far, what we found out is that Thoth is pretty much everybody on this screen. They say Thoth is depicted as an ibis or baboon. See it on the right. They say that he is depicted as Anubis, Hermanubis, Mercury, Idris, Enoch. Exactly, or all of them. Who is Thoth the Atlantian? All of them. So, and we know that Atlantean is just another word for American, because Atlantis is America. So, who told Plato about Atlantis? The Atlantean, or the American, the Mayan, the Yushi Mayan, which means children of the sun. Yushi, like the Yuchi Creek Indians, or the Yushi Maya, meaning children of the sun. The followers of Thoth are called children of the sun. We call each other children of the sun, children of soul. Soul brother, soul sister, soul children, soul child, soul food. Everything we do is with the soul, the sun. You see what I'm saying? Who was your God that they took from you? Hold on, Los. They said that all the gods had created their people in their image and likeness. I don't look like a damn ibis bird. You want to bet? Most American Indians got a beak nose. Let me say that again. You sure? Because most American Indians got a beak nose. Especially the older we get, the more pointier that motherfucker get. Tell me I'm lying. I ain't say all of us, most of us do. Some of y'all grandmamas got pointed nose. Some of y'all got pointed nose. I got pointed nose. The older I get, the more pointier my shit get. Looking just like my grandmama. We shape shift on the astral plane, man. I said, you ain't lying. I got a straight nose too, but I'm telling you. The keeper of the keys of life, right? He said the keeper of the keys of life. The keeper of the keys of life. Come on, man. And you know what's crazy? The keeper of the keys of life is at the Aztec pyramid in Mexico. Man, go look it up. All you gotta do is type in the Ankh at the Aztec pyramids, and it's gonna pull up that there's a Ankh right next to the Aztec pyramids, literally. And I still be looking at the natives and like, oh, so y'all put this Ankh here too. Y'all put this Ankh here too. What Ankh? What are you talking about, Holmes? They don't be knowing shit. Why is there an Ankh in Mexico? What's that in Tar Design? Jazar, peace. Why is there an Ankh in Mexico? What is it about the Ankh that is very attracting to Black Americans? Is it triggering our epigenetics? I don't know, but let's keep going though, because it's about to get deeper. So, in obedience to the law, the word of the master grew into flower. Downward into darkness turned the thoughts of the Atlanteans, Americans, until at least in his wrath arose from his Eguanti, the dweller. This word has no English equivalent. It means a state of detachment. The dweller, it means a state of detachment. Speaking the word, calling the power, deep in earth's heart, the sons of Amenti heard and hearing, directing the changing of the flower of fire that burns internally, the burning bush, changing and shifting, using the logos, Gnostics, until that great fire changed its direction. Over the world, then broke the great waters, drowning and sinking and changing the earth's balance until only the temple of light was left standing on the great mountain of Undao, still rising out of the waters. Some there were who were living, saved from the rush of the fountains, right? They're talking about the flood, right? Remember I told you the flood, right? It was fountains, not the sky split open and the waters above came gushing down on us and shit. It ain't that. We gotta remember who rewrote the Bible. And if we thinking logically, right? So you saying it don't flood when it rain? I'm not saying that it don't flood when it rain, but I'm also saying that what would flood the world faster? Because it ain't just rain. There's more water underneath you than on top of you. So that means from these fountains, more water was gushing up than the rain that was falling. But both of it was working together for the flood. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. All these geysers start erupting. You know what I'm saying? All these fountains start shooting up. You know what I'm saying? Just a big flood. Okay? So the Great Deluge, a reset, right? The primordial waters, facts, right? A great reset. So they saying that some was saved from the rush of the fountains. Called to me then the master, saying, quote, gather ye together my people, take them by the arts ye have learned afar across the waters until ye reach the land of the hairy barbarians dwelling in caves of the desert. That is Africa, y'all. Not called his mountains. How do I know? Barbarians. Barbary. That is North Africa. And then when you do the etymology of the word Africa, it is when you do the etymology of Africa, it says cave dweller. Literally. The African is a cave dweller. Don't get mad at me. That's the etymology. I ain't write it. All right, but they say Africa is also known as a cave dweller. So he's saying, gather my people, right? We are going across the waters until ye reach the land of the hairy barbarians dwelling in caves of the desert. Okay, there's no desert in the Caucasus Mountains. That is North Africa. All right, Sahara, Sub-Sahara, all that shit. Okay, so that is also telling you, that is also confirming what I've read to y'all and what the Algonquin Conquest, Shadows of Atlantis, Queen Mu and the Egyptian Sphinx, Children of Mu, New Atlantis that was written in 1600s, Anaclipsis, what else? Miscegenation. What else? All these books that we've read said what? The Americans, Algonquins, Mayans, the Americans, Atlantis, Atlantides, all the same people. We left America during the flood and we went to Europe, in the mountains in Africa, which is what called the Atlas Mountains. Okay, North Africa, right, became the Berbers, right? Okay, the Berbers, but we're not really Berbers. We're Amazigh. The Berbers are the barbarian cave dwellers, the hairy motherfuckers, right? White people. So that's where we went. We left America, went to Europe, went to Africa. Plenty books confirming it, right? Even the story and the Emerald Tablets confirming it. Okay? Just being real. I seen something in North Africa that Atlantis something. Yeah. Do I have a book list? I have a book list. Actually, if you go to my main page, I have a playlist that's called Books. I just made it too. If you click it, I make a video showing all the books. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to save it, screenshot it, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, I got it up there. So, right? So the hairy barbarians dwelling in caves in the desert, okay? Follow the plan that ye know of. Called to me, then the master, saying, quote, gather ye together my people, take them by ye yards. My bad, I already read that. My bad, drop down. Boom. Gathered I then my people and entered the great ship of the master. Upward we rose into the morning. Dark beneath us lay the temple. Suddenly over it rose the waters, vanished from earth, until the time appointed was the great temple. Fast we fled towards the sun of the morning, right? The sun of the morning, right? East. Right. When you flee towards the sun of the morning, right, you went east. Okay, they went east. So that's how you know that they in America. They said go to that land with the hairy people, Africa, east. Okay, east. So until beneath us, right? Boo, 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 boo. The land, right? Until beneath us lie the land of the children of Cam, right? Now they in Africa, right? They left America, went east, right? Until the land of the children of Cam is beneath them, right? Raging, they came with cougars and spears, lifting in anger, seeking to slay and utterly destroy the sons of Atlantis, America. They then raised my staff and directed a ray of vibration, striking them still in their necks as fragments of stone of the mountain. Then spoke to them in words calm and peaceful, telling them of the might of Atlantis, saying, we were children of the sun. Okay, we got two children here. You got the children of Cam, right? And we got the children of the sun. All right, children of Cam, black, children of sun, right? Okay, peak game. So we are children of the sun and its messengers, okay? Cowed them by my display of magic science, until at my feet they gravelled when I released them. Long dwelt we in the land of Cam, right? Long dwelt we in the land of Cam. Long and yet long again, until obeying the commands and the commandments of the master. While sleeping yet lives eternally. I sent from me the sons of Atlantis, sent them in many directions, right? From the womb of time, wisdom might rise again in her children. So Thoth is saying, look, I'm about to spread the sons of Atlantis out, the children of the sun. I'm about to spread y'all out. Y'all about to go in many directions, right? Israelites got scattered, right? Is real light, right? Son of light, children of sun, right? Scattered in many directions, north, south, east, west. This is why you can find our people in the four corners of the earth. You can find black Americans in the four corners of the earth right now. You got black Americans who like third generation black Americans in Germany. You got sixth generation black Americans in Europe. Real talk. We're scattered to all four corners of the earth. If people did their genealogy, they'll be real surprised how many people descend from America all around the world. But we ain't about to get into that. So, so I sent them in many directions, all four corners of the earth. From the womb of time, wisdom might rise again in her children. What's happening, Tayani? Peace, peace. Excuse me. All right. Facts, I found some ancestry in Europe that seem to be from America. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. So, long time dwelt. Right? Long time dwelt in the land of Cam, doing great works by the wisdom within me. Upward grew into the light of knowledge, the children of Cam, watered by the rains of my wisdom, blasted then a path to Amity, so that I might retain my powers, living from age to age, a son, S-U-N, of Atlantis, right? Because when he was talking about sons of Atlantis, he was saying S-O-N. Now he's saying that now that I've awakened the children of Cam with the light of the knowledge, right? They're watered by the rains of wisdom, right? The seeds is watered. Now I got the children of Cam up in vibration. I can then blast a path to Amity, so that I might retain my powers, living from age to age, a son, S-U-N, of Atlantis, keeping the wisdom and preserving the records. Now, they told you that, your sun gaze, unlock your Akashic records. If you got to unlock your Akashic records, who you got to go to for the records? You got to go to the record keeper. Who is the record keeper? Thoth, Hermes, Mercury, Idris, Enoch, Hermanubis. All the same people. Great grew the sons of Cam, conquering the people around them, growing slowly upward in soul force. Who was conquering people around them? The sons of Cam. Hamites. Growing slowly upward in soul force. Now for a time I go from among them into the dark halls of Amenti, deep in the halls of the earth, hollow earth, before the lords of the power, face to face, once again, the dweller. Raised high over the entrance, a doorway, a gateway leading down to Amenti. Few there would be with courage to dare it. Few past the portals to dark Amenti. That kind of sound like that story in the Bible when Jesus went to hell and came back out. The invention of Jesus Christ. Right? Remember what the Romans did, right? Raised over the passage, a mighty pyramid. He did what? I raised over the passage to inner earth a pyramid, using the power that overcomes earth force gravity. Deep and yet deeper place of force house or chamber. From it carved a circular passage reaching almost to the great summit. There in the apex set I the crystal, sending the rays into time space. There's a crystal capstone missing from all the pyramids around the world. I'm just gonna let y'all know that now. So drawing the force from out of the ether, right? Concentrating upon the gateway to Amenti. See the Great Pyramid. Yeah, all the capstones on the pyramid was removed, and they put them stone capsules on it. On top of all the pyramids, so most of the pyramids are petrified. Like a lot of them weren't really stone. Some of them was made from granite and stone, and then some of them are like petrified. And you know what I'm saying? Some of them had crystal capstones at the top. Some of them had golden capstones at the top. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of them, but you know, they removed the capstones from a lot of them, and they, you know, made the brick one that we see today. And then when you come to America, they just chopped the whole half of the pyramids down. Like some of the pyramids that they couldn't chop down are the ones that's still standing in front of you. But a lot of these mounds was actually pyramids, like full-fledged triangle pyramids and shit. And they chopped them in half. So now they resemble like flat top mounds and shit for some of them. Man, that shit crazy, boy. They did a lot of destruction around this thing. Like, for real, they did a lot of destruction around this thing. Like a receiver facts. I just found out the other day our bodies internally is liquid crystals. Yep. You got crystals in your brain. That's why you don't really, so if I was to ask you, can you think? What would you say? 63 people in here, just get 63 reposts. Appreciate the likes, the love, the gifts. Appreciate the Cash App donations. Y'all the real MVPs. Y'all showing out tonight. If I was to ask you, can your brain think? What would you say? What's that, Nikita? Peace. What would you say? You said you don't know? Somebody said no. Can you think? Brittany say yes. No, because technically it's just flesh. My body think for itself. So, okay. So we're talking about the brain. The brain is a receiver. You receive downloads. So most of the time, your thoughts are either pre-programmed because of TV and society, or organic thoughts are downloaded from the ethers because of the crystals in your brain, which is receivers. Right? Because before you have a thought, there's a voice in your head. Where is that voice coming from? You, God, you. Remember, a lot of these deities is the same people. Soul, children of the soul. You are connected to a higher power. All right. So your brain receives. All right. So that's what so-called thinking is. Thinking is really you just receiving downloads from the ether. Because there's a lot of information and knowledge that you're swimming in right now. You know, for those who don't know, like you're swimming in information right now, knowledge and stuff like that. Like, and it's all around you. It's in the ethers and shit. Right? And that's where you get it from. So if I put people inside of a toxic environment and pollute your ether, I'm going to pollute your thinking. If I put you where there's clean air or clean ether, you will have clean thoughts. This is why your thoughts change when you go on vacation versus when you come back to your environment. When you in your environment, your thoughts seem cluttered and foggy, and you like, man, what the fuck? It's because the ether around you is polluted, right? It's like thinking of a fish swimming in polluted water, okay? And then when you go like on vacation to like the Caribbeans or, you know, somewhere, you know, Utah, and, you know, just somewhere they got better air and atmosphere, you know what I'm saying? Less pollution and shit. You be having all type of thoughts. You be like, damn, bro. Shit, when I get back, boy, I can start that business. I can do it like that at YZ. You feel me? Hey, man, the government is doing woo, woo, woo. You just have clear thoughts because you out of polluted ether, right? But that's why they want to pollute your ether, because the last thing they need for you to do is reconnect to your divineness. Children of the sun. Okay? Children of the sun. The followers of Thoth, wisdom, innovation, creation. The children of the sun. Followers of Thoth was known as children of the sun. So now let me ask y'all this one more time. Are Black Americans connected to Thoth the Atlantian? Are Black Americans connected to Thoth the Atlantian? If I wanted to disconnect you from the record keeper, I would destroy your records. See what I'm saying? If I want to disconnect you from medicine and nature, I would disconnect you from the so-called God who brought medicine and worked with nature. And if I want to disconnect you from the sun, man, look. Why are Black Americans so attracted to the Ankh, the Eye of Ra, the staff with the serpents, names like Children of the Sun, and you find it here in America? Yuchi Creek, Yuchi Maya. Yuchi means children of the sun. America's the real old world. And there's an Ankh in Mexico by the Aztec pyramids. AI Summary said, exploring the connection between Black heritage and ancient wisdom. I am weak. I am weak on that one. Now, just for a little confirmation about this whole Atlantis thing, right? Man, I appreciate everybody for the daily hearts. If y'all haven't sent a daily heart, please send them. You feel me? So, this book was published in the 1600s. It's called New Atlantis, begun by Lord Vredem. Okay? All right. From the monarchical government, written in 1600s. In this book, it also tells you what? Highlighted part. How the great Atlantis, which we call America. How the great Atlantis, which we call America, abounded once in tall ships. How the people of Peru, through the South Sea, and through of Mexico, through the Atlantic and the Mediterranean Sea, did both in 10 years. Because they the same people. Appreciate that. The great Atlantis, which we call America, it is not a myth. Thoth told you, and other Egyptian guys told you, that they were Atlanteans. They come from the west, over the waters. America. I Thoth the Atlantian. Atlantean, meaning he's from Atlantis. Atlantis is America. The antediluvian god. All right. I'm saying the chief smoking peace. So now we're gonna switch a little speeds real quick. We're gonna switch a little speed real quick. Let's go into the breakdown. Breakdown. So where we at with it? So boom. So now wisdom, Egypt, I've been writing. Hold on, I'm trying to find where I'm at. I gotta start organizing this. Oh yeah. Okay. So now we about to go into further realization. Okay? Because now we understand that there's a wisdom teacher pattern, right? Anytime Thoth is around, you start to get a wisdom teacher pattern, which is kind of one of the giveaways that this is Thoth, right? So across several civilizations, a mysterious figure who appear, always bring writing, teaches science and knowledge, records divine laws, appear before and after the great catastrophes. Okay? In all civilizations, there's always this mysterious figure, meaning one. Who is this one figure that's popping up in several civilizations? All right? This is where people start comparing the figures, like Thoth, Hermes, Mercury, right? Hermanubis, Enoch, and Idris. But I'm going to give y'all a couple more names in here, though, because it ain't just them. But just walk them down. So, step one, in Egypt, Thoth is the scribe of the gods. He is said to invent writing, record laws of the universe, teach magic and science, right? Alchemy, preserve knowledge. It sounds like American Indians and Moors, huh? He is sometimes associated with secret texts like the Book of Thoth, okay? Or the Book of Enoch, since we know that he's also Enoch, right? In Greece, when Greeks encountered Egypt, they said Thoth is Hermes. This created the legendary teacher Hermes Trismegistus, or 3 times Hermes, associated with the Cryptus Hermetica. Okay? These writings talk about divine mind, hidden knowledge, cosmic law. This is where the Hermetic philosophy starts. It sounds a lot like a Gnosticism and hoodoo and spirituality, right? It's amazing how you wake up and you became a Hermetic. Man, I'm done with Christianity and this Jesus shit, man. Let me go get me some sage and some incense and meditate and try to find the God within and enlightenment and vibrations. And yeah, it's funny how you became a Hermetic again. Let's keep going though. Teachers of Thoth. What's happening, DC? In Rome, the Romans simply translated Hermes into Mercury. But the deeper Hermetic wisdom tradition stayed attached to the Hermes identity, right? So even though this is Thoth, they just kept it Hermes because, you know, same people, same teaching. You know what I'm saying? So in Rome, he's Mercury. When you come to the Abrahamic traditions, now it gets interesting. All right, now it gets interesting. In Jewish or Judaism mystical texts, like the Book of Enoch, Enoch travels to heaven, learn cosmic secrets, write down divine knowledge. That role looks very similar to Thoth's role as divine recorder. All right, and we know, Enoch, Thoth, Hermes, Hermanubis, right? All the same ones, right? Because we already broke that down earlier. When you get to Islam, right? Idris, right? Idris, Enoch, Hermes, Thoth, right? Same people, right? You can throw Loki in there too, right? Same people, right? One mysterious figure, several civilizations, different names. Shit, that's deep enough to confuse anybody, right? That's why you got to read and break it down. So in Islam, the prophet Idris is described as the first to write with a pen, a teacher of knowledge, a wise prophet elevated in heaven. Again, the scribe archetype appears once again. Okay? The connection to the theory, which ain't really no theory, we didn't already confirm this. Some esoteric traditions claim that these figures might represent one ancient wisdom teacher remembered differently by cultures. This idea becomes popular in mystical writings like the Emerald Tablets of Thoth the Atlantian, the Oahspe, right? Remember the book Oahspe, Words of Jehovah? Well, I'm going to recover it for y'all who forgot. These books suggest an ancient teacher who preserved knowledge after a lost civilization such as Atlantis, America. Right? Now, here's one that I didn't tell you. When you come to America again, because we know that Thoth already left America, but when you come back to America, right, you get Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent teacher. What? Is this why there's an Ankh in Mexico, nigga? Aztec pyramid? Is this why there's a... Is this the reason why there's an Ankh in Mexico? By the Aztec pyramids? Same person. One famous example is Quetzalcoatl. In traditions from central Mexico, he is described as a bringer of knowledge and civilization, a teacher of astronomy and calendars, connected with wisdom and learning, sometimes portrayed as opposing human sacrifice. Cultures like the Aztec civilization and earlier Mesoamerican groups told stories of him teaching people how to live and organize societies. It's the same person, same attributes. The same home, yeah, America. Left as Thoth, came back as Quetzalcoatl. Or he probably was already Quetzalcoatl and he just threw a nickname to him. They're like, who you is? Shit, nigga, you call me Thoth. You know what I'm saying? You call me Thoth, Tweety. Because, you know, nigga probably couldn't pronounce Quetzalcoatl. It's like, man, I ain't about to keep saying this long ass name, bro. You can call me Thoth. Nigga Tahiti, maybe, you know what I'm saying? We all got many names, exactly, insightful. What's happening, King Wash? We were created in the likeness and image of our Creator. He go by many names, so do us. We got a first name, we got a nickname. It depends, and the nickname break down to many other nicknames. You like, shit, nigga, my grandmama call me this, but my mama and them call me, my auntie and my aunt, though, you know what I'm saying? You know, me and my sister, you got all type of, you got many names, right? Many gods, M-A-N-Y, created many gods, M-I-N-I. You feel me? I'm Los with y'all. But when I go to my mama's house, I'm a little man. Even though I'm 6'2" and she 4'11", I'm always gonna be little man to her. Then when she mad, she be like LC. You feel me? Go to my cousin crib, I'm CJ. You know what I'm saying? It all depends. I pop up at my sister's house, twin. You know what I'm saying? We all got many names. And our Creator got many names. What's happening, Khalid? But it don't stop there, though, y'all. It don't stop at just Quetzalcoatl. Come on, man. You know we got to talk about the Maya, right? Hermes, Thoth, mother is Maya. So how can we talk about Thoth and not talk about his mama Maya? Right? How can we talk about Thoth and not talk about his mama Maya? Because you know he gonna be in the Maya traditions, but we call him Kukulkan. Right? When you come to Maya traditions, we don't call him Thoth. We call him by his American name, right? Kukulkan. Among the Maya, a similar feathered serpent figure appears as Kukulkan. Kind of, KKK, Ku Klux Klan. Where you think they got that shit from? Ku Klux Klan, right? Ku Klux Klan, right? Where you think they got that shit from? They always make you hate your shit. They always gonna make you hate your shit. They take your shit, demonize it to make you hate it. Now, when somebody talk about Ku Klux Klan, you see swastikas and shit, you be like, nigga, fuck you. You get mad at them up, nigga, fuck that symbol, nigga. Burn the Confederate flag, nigga. That's burning your heritage, nigga. And they sit back and laughing because you don't remember. Why? Because you don't remember them records. So you despise your own culture without knowing that it's your shit. Our people still like that today. Nigga, fuck them plantations, nigga. Fuck the Confederate flag, nigga. You know, white people slave owner, nigga. That's because the lack of history. They don't know history. Nigga mad at me right now because I told him slavery didn't really happen. What? How can you not believe in slavery? How can you believe in slavery is the question. Nigga, you believe niggas came over here in a wooden boat 3 to 6 months, no food, no water, no exercise, and laying the fuck down biologically in biology, nigga, that is impossible. And y'all still thinking that this shit happened when science tell you this shit is impossible. It ain't, the question is why you believe it. That nigga told me, but that's like, so if slavery didn't happen, Jim Crow ain't happened. Those are two different events, nigga. Slavery and Jim Crow is two different things, nigga. Slavery ain't happened in 1920. Those are two different time periods. You cannot be a slave in one time period and motherfuckers still be racist to you in 1920s. That ain't got one ain't got shit to do with the other. A lot of these people want slavery to be an identity. These niggas been being called slaves so much that these niggas is proud. That's their identity, slave. They don't know their identity. That's like buying a dog as a puppy and you naming him Slave. Hey, Slave, come here. And he, yeah, yes, master. Hey, Slave, roll over. Yes. It's time to eat, Slave. Yeah. That's your identity. And you happy about it. That ain't even your real identity. That ain't even your real experience. Indian slavery ain't happened, Los. I ain't saying that ain't happened. But I'm telling you it ain't happened the way that they told you. One thing about reading these books, I learned that the number of slaves that they so-called got was small numbers, bro. It was never no large number. I haven't read no book literally in those times was like, yeah, nigga, this slave owner had, he grabbed 10,000 motherfuckers. It's always either 20 here, 30 here, 100 here. When we did the numbers about slavery and slave trades, that shit's small as hell. Meaning that majority of us didn't come from slaves. But you tell a black person that shit, they'll beat your ass behind that root story, nigga. Nigga, you disrespecting my family, nigga. How the fuck you gonna tell me I ain't come from a slave, nigga? Man, you have to see about me. Nigga, my people been slaves, nigga. Nigga, I'm the child of a slave, nigga. Nigga, beat your ass behind that, boy. I'm a descendant of a slave, nigga. Ah! Whoa, hold on, bro. Bro, all I just said was all of us was enslaved, nigga, and you ready to take me out the game. Because I don't want to go with that. I don't want to go with y'all fantasy story. Nigga, I didn't come from slaves. Nigga, I did my genealogy. Ain't nobody been a slave in that bitch. Closest thing I got to a slave was an indentured servant, and she was working for her husband. She was a domestic house servant, and her master was her husband. I don't even count that shit. That's your wife, nigga. Well, that's the closest I got, and they all American. And then, you know, I got my Irish ancestors and shit. You know what I'm saying? But even they wasn't no slaves or nothing that. The niggas was free too. You said that happened to you yesterday? Yeah, bro. That's spelled deep. That's spelled deep. Shit. Shit. That's spelled deep. I'm telling you. That's spelled deep, man. When you don't know yourself, you will accept any identity that they give you. When you don't know thyself, you will accept any identity these people give you. And this how I know that the natives ain't the real indigenous people. Not even the Mayans, Aztecs, all Mex Levanta. For one, they still calling this bitch Turtle Island. Ain't nobody ancestors ever called it that. Secondly, they don't even know about the that's by the Aztec pyramid, and they are in Mexico, which is fucking crazy. Like, you're in the place where this shit is at, and you don't know it. Like, you're there, and you don't know it. That's crazy as hell, bro. You said, damn, that's some gas. It is. So, among the Mayas, a similar feathered serpent figure appears, Kukulkan. He is also connected with knowledge, architecture, calendar science. You can see his symbolism in places like El Castillo, where the famous serpent shadow appears during the equinox. That's dope. All right. Kukulkan, Quetzalcoatl. When you go to the Andes, South America, another civilizing teacher. In the Andes, there is a somewhat similar legendary figure called Viracocha, right? Stories describe him as appearing after a catastrophe or flood, right? Appearing after a catastrophe or flood, huh? The Thoth. Teaching people agriculture and culture. Traveling across lands, teaching humanity. He is associated with the Inca civilization. So that's Inca, that's Maya, that's Aztec. All got the same damn deity, but just being called different names. So from Egypt to America, cultures talk about mysterious teachers who brought knowledge to humanity. Why does this archetype keep appearing? Why do this archetype keep appearing? Now, let me lead y'all to another gem. Y'all can have fun with the Christians with this one. Okay? Now, for real, y'all can have fun with the Christians with this. All right. So now, right, when we go back to the epithet of Hermes or Thoth, right? The epithet just many different names that somebody is called, right? So the epithets of Hermes or Thoth, right? Because they're the same people, is Cryofortis or Creofortis, right? Underneath Atlantides, right? Creofortis, okay? In ancient Greek code, Creophorus, Greek, or Creophis, he is the ram bearer, right? The ram bearer. Remember that. He is the ram bearer. Okay? That commemorates in sacrifices of a ram. Okay? Yep, Hermes' mother is Maya. Facts. All right? Cryofortis, the ram bearer. Now, when we type in Cryoforce, right? When we type him in, this is what we get. Now, it's 64 people in here. Y'all tell me, please engage, right? Where have y'all seen this from? Where have y'all seen this? We all seen this. And when you seen this, who was he? Jesus. Jesus is Thoth. Jesus? Could Thoth be Jesus? Yes, that's definitely an afro. And his nose is shot off. What's that in swarthy? Right. Nose shot off. Afro, right, with the Buddha. Right. Mm-hmm. Wasn't that Isaac sacrificing the ram in Yahshua? Mm-mm. Nah, this Jesus. Right? It's so-called Jesus. Chippewa, you almost got blocked, talking about some Bantu knots, girl. You better stop playing like that. I thought somebody hijacked your page. I thought somebody hijacked your page. I was about to get you up out of here. Peace, Swarth. Cryofortis, right? When you type in Cryofortis, this is what you get. And all y'all said Jesus, right? All y'all said Jesus, right? This is Hermes Cryofortis, the ram bearer, right? Hermes. Hermes is Thoth. Thoth is Hermes. Hermes Cryofortis, the ram bearer, is Thoth. In ancient Greek epithet and artistic Montauf depicting the god Hermes. This is depicting the god Hermes carrying a ram or lamb, symbolizing his role as the pictorial pastoral protector. Jesus. Hermes. You want to know what's crazy? Christians think this is Jesus. They don't even know that this is Hermes. They don't even know that this is Hermes. Christians don't know that this is Hermes. Or Thoth, right? Thoth. Well, modern Christians don't. Old Christians did. Right? So, key details about Hermes Fortis, right? Symbolism represents Hermes as a divine shepherd, right? Divine shepherd. You was raised in church talking about this divine shepherd, right? The protector of flocks, huh? You grew up in church going every Sunday with your grandmama, and the pastor sat in that pulpit talking about divine shepherd, protector of flocks. But he told you that was Jesus. He didn't tell you that was Hermes. Huh? Man. Right, the good shepherd. Listen, this is Hermes, the divine shepherd and protector of flocks, fertility, and life. That don't sound bad. Origin and myth, the type of associated with the myth of Tangara, where Hermes saved the city from a plague by carrying a ram around his walls. Artistic representation often portrays in bronze or terracotta depicting a young heroic figure with a ram over his shoulders. Right? The legacy. Nah, I ain't doing a Ganesha today. Right? Legacy. This Montauk, listen, here it is. Here's the legacy. This Montauk is considered the precursor to the Christian imagery of the Good Shepherd. This is the precursor to Jesus, the Good Shepherd. The big statue. They took his beard off on this one. They shot the beard off. They took the nose off the other one, took the beard off of this one. It was like, yeah, these niggas can't know. But somebody asked about Sumerians. Now, if you go look at books and things called Black Sumerians, or if you go look at Europe Chaldees, the hair, the beard is the same. And we know that the Sumerians and the Chaldeans, are El Negro. Okay? So I'm just saying. He said, that's a tall ninja. Yeah, man. Thoth. Remember, everybody was giants back then. Technically, these are Nephilim, or giants that we talking about. Right? Zeus, Maya, Atlas, right? Atlas is the grandfather, right? Titan. So-called fallen angels, Nephilim, giants, right? So this is why Thoth inside the book was like these little men, because he's giant. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he got them locks in. Yeah, you see them locks hanging? Yeah, you see them locks hanging. Stop playing, man. You know that this us. You know this us. You see them locks. Stop playing. They done took my man fist off. That's crazy. Right? So, they all have coily hair, yup. So, Thoth, Hermes, Mercury, Idris, Enoch, Quartus, the ram bearer or the good shepherd, Kukulkan, Quetzalcoatl, all are Hermes. Now, this statue and these pictures are found in the oldest church, right? Called Dirdus Europa. Okay, There's the oldest church in the world, right? One of the oldest churches in the world, one that the Israelites fled to, or the Hebrews fled to after the bondage of Egypt, right? It was called Diorus Europus or Europo. Okay, it was an old church. Inside this church, there's paintings on the wall, right? All type of paintings on this motherfucker, right? Excuse my language, but you know, they have the painting, right? Right? They have the painting of the Hebrews crossing the parted sea. Oh, this is exactly what this is. Yep, this is exactly what. Let me show y'all real quick. Boom, here we are. This artwork depicts a scene from the book of Exodus. Hold on, let me back this out so y'all can see. All right, the picture that I'm showing y'all, that's inside one of the oldest church, right? Dura Europos, right? A synagogue, okay, in modern day Syria. This artwork depicts a scene from the book of Exodus known as the parting of the Red Seas, specifically showing Moses leading the Israelites across. The origins is the fresco was discovered in the ancient Dura Europos synagogue in modern Syria. The painting is dated to approximately the 3rd century, likely around 244-250 CE. The subject matter, it illustrates the Israelites safely crossing the sea while the pursuing Egyptian army is shown being overwhelmed. It is recognized as one of the oldest surviving examples of Jewish narrative art and synagogue paintings. Yeah. And they are very swarthy. Right? Yeah, they shot off the nose, beard, hands, and your man, look. You already know what it is. Y'all wildin'. Y'all wildin'. But they are very swarthy, very copper colored, right? My nigga look like goddamn Colin Kaepernick right here. God damn, boy, let me find out they Colin Kaepernick, boy. Shout out to Colin Kaepernick. That boy Moses. Looking like Colin Kaepernick. Nickel. Right. These swarthy, copper colored Israelites, right? Who don't look like the little hat people. Yeah, that nigga not need too. Don't look like they don't look like the little hat people. Matter of fact, they don't even have a little hat on their heads. Right? Who is these people? Who they descendants is today? Because these ain't the little hat folk. Oh yeah, they gas. Hold on, y'all. Oh man. Whew, high learning book club. Get high, take the test high, get high scores, right? Right. Roll it if you got it, man. Shout out to everybody that's in here. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. If this your first time, go ahead and hit that follow button so you be notified every time I go live, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for the likes, the love, the gifts. Y'all the real MVPs. Y'all showing out tonight. Appreciate the Cash App donation. And because you send the Cash App donation, I don't know if you still in here, Bloom. Inbox me your email and I'll send you a copy of one of my ebooks for the free ski, just for supporting the channel, man. I appreciate you for tuning in. So Why none of the pictures depict the little curly cues? And that man, look, they ain't even got the side curls going. They look like Romans. They do kind of pass as Romans. They can, but you know, a lot of us can resemble and pass for other people. Some of us are the same people. Just like how, with the gods and the god names, like we going through it's the same God. A lot of times they be the same people. Even the ancient Romans, who kind of descend from like Phoenicians and Carthaginians and shit. They came from America too. You know. All right. So peep game. So this is depicting the crossing of the Red Sea. Moses, and there might be Aaron next to him, because that boy Aaron was always right next to Moses, right, one of the right hand man. So that might be Aaron. All right, might be Aaron. You see, I need that gas. My shit ain't got me coughing. See what else they got up in here. All right, they got another close up on Moses. All right, they got another close up on Moses. Right, copper colored brother. Right, part of that red race. Right, what's that in B4O? What's that in Cam? Right, copper colored brother. Right, I mean Moses was a Chaldean. Right, he was a Chaldean, Chaldees, and the Chaldees was, antediluvian Atlanteans, right? All right. Just wanted to show y'all a few little stuff inside that old church. Dorus Europus. Now, okay. Now, let's go here real quick, because I want to show y'all some symbols of Thoth. Hermes, Thoth, Hermes, same people, right? Mercury, right? Let me show y'all some of these symbols. All right, as y'all can see. And I'm going to read. It says the cross-marked Hermes, right? Appreciate that. The cross-marked Hermes, a god of four-way crossroads. Now, that sound familiar, my southern folk and Caribbean folk. Listen. The cross-marked Hermes, a god of four-way crossroads. The god of crossroads. In hoodoo and voodoo, there is a god of a crossroads. Could this be the same deity? Okay. So Hermes, Thoth, Hermes, right? God of the four-way crossroad. The four quarters of the earth, the four elements, the four divisions of the sacred year, the four winds, right? He's the God of all this, right? Four quarters, four-way crossroads, four elements, four winds, and the solstice and equinox, the God of the solstice, right? Who are we really saying happy birthday to? And the equinox, represented by their zodiacal totems: Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, the bull, the lion, the serpent, and man angel symbols adopted by Christians. So the cross, wasn't a Christian symbol, it was adopted. Just like the Good Shepherd, who modern Christians think is Jesus, but it's really Hermes. And they wearing a cross as a necklace. Are they really worshiping Jesus, or are they unknowingly worshiping Thoth or Hermes? Or maybe they're worshiping a false god pretending to be Thoth and Hermes. But anyways, these symbols was adopted by Christians to represent the four evangelists. Sometimes the cross of Hermes was an ankh. Right? The keys of life. Sometimes the cross of Hermes was an ankh. Okay? It was an ankh. Okay? Standing on a crescent, right? The crescent moon, because remember, Thoth, Hermes, Thoth, god of the moon, right? Crescent moon, that is. So you got the ankh, right? The cross of life. You got the other cross, right? The cross of death. You got the crescent moon. Okay. All right. And standing on a crescent that signifies his mother, the moon, Maya, right? Maya, the moon, his mother, the moon, Maya. The crescent represents Maya, the mother. Okay? They're still representations of the woman. You just forgot what these symbols stood for. Okay? But it signified his mother, Maya, the moon. This evolved into the conventional sign of Mercury, a circle with the cross sign of Mercury, Hermes, below, and a crescent above. Okay? As well as the swastika, which represents the four elements in motion. Facts. And it all comes from America. Okay? Let's go to Deuteronomy real quick. And y'all know I don't pull out Bible verses like that unless we can connect them. So in Deuteronomy it says, be careful, or you will be enticed to turn away and worship other gods and bow down to them. Be careful, or you will be enticed to turn away and worship other gods and bow down to them. Okay? That's Deuteronomy. Joshua. The letter J wasn't invented, so this is Yahshua. And you want to know what's crazy? Is that people don't even know that the real so-called Jesus, who is Yahshua or Hosea, is actually in the Bible talking. He done read plenty of chapters. A lot of people don't even, Jesus ain't got no chapter in the Bible. I mean, technically, the real so-called Jesus, who is Yahshua, Hosea, he does. But y'all don't read the Old Testament, though. Y'all stuck in that New Testament shit that was created by the Holy Roman Empire and Flavius Josephus. This is the reason why the Most High said that his words will never change, which means that what I said in the Torah will always be what it said. There is no New Testament. My words will never change. What I'm gonna say, what I said yesterday is what I said today. That's like that's like your child coming up to you asking for a new video game and they've been fucking up. And you told them no Monday and they come back and ask you Wednesday. Nah, bro. My word Monday, no. It's the same shit today, no, nigga. You know the same shit. No, the New Testament, you know, Jesus died and rose up in the New Testament and the new law and commandments. And who? What? You talk to most of them about Yahshua or whatever, they don't know nothing. You be like, nah, bro, his name is Yahshua. His name is Jesus. Come on, bro. They put the truth and the lie in the book, and people choose to read the lie over the truth. But anyways, what Yahshua was telling everybody, right? Because the letter J wasn't invented, right? Yahshua, right? Before, right? Be ye therefore very courageous to keep and to do all that is written in the book of the law of Moses, right? Yahshua telling you to keep and to do all that is written in the book of the law of Moses, Old Testament, that ye turn not aside therefore to the right hand or to the left, that ye come not among these nations, right? That ye come not among these nations, these that remain among you, neither make mention of the name of their gods, nor cause any to swear by them, neither serve them, nor bow yourselves unto them. He's telling you not to worship these deities, these false gods. The Old Testament Yahshua is telling you don't swear by them, don't mention their name, don't serve them, don't bow to them. And then in the New Testament, they give you Jesus. It's like, Jesus? They was like, yeah. Oh, I just told these niggas. You know what I'm saying? I know, hey, if Yahshua is a brother like I know he a brother, man, he probably, I just told these niggas. I just sat here and told these niggas, man. Look, oh, Lord. I know why Moses was mad when he bro, it's the same shit. We do it. This how we know that we are these people, because we do the same shit today. Bro, I just told you niggas that we Indians, bro. God damn. We do the same. We do. Our stiff-necked people is how they described us. We stiff-necked, hard-headed. Indians are some of the most stubbornest people on earth, and our people is stubborn, bro. We stubborn folk. For real. We stubborn people, bro. We like, bro, I just told these niggas, bro. Don't mention these niggas' names. None of this shit. And what y'all do? Talk about some Jesus? Talk about some Baphomet? Bow? You know, all that type of shit. Keep the laws of Moses. The laws of Moses is part of the 42 Mayat. Mayat. 42 laws of Maya. 42 laws of Thoth. Keep them laws. He said, did I hear an organ? Man, come on, man. Well, if I had a real church, they would have been shut us down. Yeah, but man, hell no, we gonna have to shut this nigga down. All right. So why did he say that? Because we got to go back here to the OASP. Why is he saying that? Don't swear by their name. Don't call them. Well, for those who missed it, OASP, a new Bible in the words of Jehovah and its angel ambassadors, right? Messengers, a sacred history of the dominions of the higher and lower heavens on earth, right? For the past 24,000 years. Okay. All right. Why did he say that? Because when you remove all the, the God this, God that, and you plug in who these so-called gods is in the Bible, it started to make sense. But he says, do not turn to these guys, don't swear by them, don't bow to them. The other passage in Deuteronomy said that a lot of these guys will try to entice you, and they do. They entice you every day. Okay? Luamon, Asherah, Baal, okay? Tunis, okay? So because Luamon pursued Asheroth in conjunction with Baal and overthrew her and her kingdom and cast them into hell, he became as a lion, savage at the taste of blood, right? And I cry out unto him, saying, hold, hold, enough. But he said, nay, till I have Baal also cast into hell, I will not seize the carnage of mortal blood. For those who don't know, Luamon is Satan. Okay? For those who don't know, Luamon is Satan. Okay? Baal said, mine is an easy doctrine to understand. All mortals that worship not Baal shall be put to unaliven. The worshipers of the Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, are my enemies. Such mortals shall pass away, right? Should unalive. Such angels shall go the way of hell. The faithists, the worshippers of Jehovah, are also my enemies. Such mortals shall be tortured and sawed in half. Such angels shall be bound in knots in hell and suffocated forever. I will have them know that Baal is the all highest God of heaven and earth. All the lands of Arabia and Helist and parts of Europa was as one great seat of anarchy and war. Luamon, Satan, said, I come not to bring peace but war. I come to set nation against nation, people against people, man against man. For righteousness' sake, I will purify the earth with human blood. That's what Satan said. But you also heard that phrase inside the Bible somewhere, right? Somebody else said there, huh? Okay. All right. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So now, Luamon sent messengers, right? Yeah, Lord God. Luamon then sent messengers and a suitable escort to Jerusalem, right? They sent them to Jerusalem, America, on the earth, where Thoth was stationed at this time. Thoth, Hermes, right? Thoth was stationed at this time with an angel host of warriors commanding his presence before his holy council in Hespedi. Luamon, Satan, heavenly city and kingdom. Now, after Thoth went thither and they held a council of many days, a disturbance arose in the council in consequence of the heat of the debates. For the gods of the council, for the most part, said, quote, what better are we than the Jehovians? What greater power have we than the Jehovians? Who can answer the philosophy of Thoth? It is a truth mortal. It is a truth. Mortals have never been satisfied with an angel from the gods. They want God himself. Okay? They want God himself. And yet these are not all, for these gods have no fear of the Holy Ghost, and they choose any name that will be flattering to the mortals. So they telling you, man, these false gods are just picking names that's flattering to mortals and getting them to worship them, right? They're having a war over humanity and your soul. But who is, though? A lot of these false gods. Luamon, Satan. right? Baal, Asherah. All right, P game. So Luamong has falsely announced himself as the Christ. Oh, he falsely announced himself as Christ. And Luamon commanded Thoth and his angel warriors in command of his earthly dominion to rise up tribes of warriors amongst mortals. And by the inspiration of said Thoth, these warriors were induced to call themselves Christians or Christians. Uh-oh. Warriors of Luamon are Christians. All right. Christians. All right. These warriors called themselves Christians. Luamon. Followers of Luamon, Satan, are called Christians. Followers of Luamon, the false god, Satan, who called himself the Christ, they call themselves Christians. And then I got another book I'm gonna bring out to y'all probably later out this week where it says that Serapis followers call themselves Christians. For real. We're gonna go back into the Roman invention of Jesus. And I'm gonna show y'all in that book that followers of Serapis or Serapis worshipers are called Christians. So the question is, so what was really the Christian Crusades? So what was the Christian Crusades for real? Uh-oh. So, and it says, God said that man may know this is true. Behold, the followers of Jehovah are not warriors, nor have they ever been. Jehovah said, this mark put I upon man from the time of Cain to the present day. Right? I wonder what that mark is. That whoso riseth his hand against his brother, right, is raiseth his hand against me also. And this mark shall distinguish my servants to the end of the world. Behold, I alone am all knowledge. Right? Now it came to pass that from this time forth great success attended the wars of Luamon for the glory of his heavenly kingdom. And for the space of 300 years, Luamon gradually gained on Baal and his alliance, both on earth and in heaven. And Luamon captured and cast out of his dominions more than 700 false gods and false lords. He cast out 700 false gods and false lords. Right? Okay. And he broke up 680 oracle houses and temples used for consulting the spirits, who called themselves gods, whose only service was to advise on war, conquest, and destruction. So that even in Luamon's falsity to himself, he rendered a great service to Jehovah. All right, so even though Jehovah allowed him to call himself the false God or Christ, as long as he did the bidding, right? And that's what he did. So Jehovah let him for a minute, right? And he rendered a great service to Jehovah, against whom he was doing battle. For 300 years more, Luamong, with upward of 6,000 million angel warriors, pursued war in heaven and on earth. And he had captured mostly all the earthly strongholds of other false gods. Baal, however, still maintained himself in Roma and as God of the Roman Empire, Holy Roman Empire, but under many names. Uh-oh, there go that many names part again. There go that many names. Now, I save that. I'll save that for another live. That's a good question though. But I'm gonna save that for another live though. But there it is though. By many names, right? Many names. So far, right? So far, Thoth has went by hella names. All right. Hermes, Greek god. Mercury, Greek god. Idris, Islamic prophet. Enoch, Old Testament before Noah. Hermanubis or Anubis, right? Greco-Egyptian god of the underworld, right? Conducting, souls and stuff like that, right? Gabriel in Abrahamic religions. Quetzalcoatl, Aztec civilizations. Kukulkan, Maya civilization. And I would say the Good Shepherd, but only his image. Right? Only, you could say that in early. I throw in the Good Shepherd too. Right? Hermes, because they did say that the Good Shepherd was Hermes. So even the Good Shepherd with the lamb on his back. So now when you see pictures of the Good Shepherd, right, the so-called Jesus in the pastures with the lambs and the one on his back and everything, now you know that that's Hermes or Thoth. That's not who you think it is. Okay? So, and these are only the tip of the iceberg. He got many more names and civilizations. They said several civilizations. This ain't even close to several. Okay? Because you also got to think about Buddha. Remember what I taught y'all in the Anaclipsis book? Buddha's mother is Maya, whose grandfather is Atlas, right? Buddha, Guatemala. Could Thoth also be Buddha? Could Thoth also be Buddha? Right? They always said that these mysterious teachers always pop up, right? Like Buddha is a mysterious teacher, right? He said again, all of them. All right. But we can do this with a lot of guys, though. You know what I'm saying? Thoth is just one of many that we could do this with, right? And he's connected to specific ones. We can also do the same thing with Medusa, right? We could do the same thing with Medusa and a lot more other deities as well, too. And we will, right? Because this all goes with the Gnostic breakdown. This all goes with, pretty much just waking up and understanding everything. How they pulled the wool over your eyes. Got people worshiping false gods and deities, hiding the real deity. Could be, maybe. It seems to fit. All right. So now we get into the question and the breakdown. So now we about to answer this question. Number 8 is really raising some questions. Yeah. Oh, before we get into this, the number seven. The number seven is the number of Thoth. Yep. Mm-hmm. I'm that's just a little gem that I'm giving y'all ahead of time, because I'm gonna break that down the next time we go live tomorrow too. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the number seven is Thoth's number. The so-called Hermes, but you know, Hermes, Thoth, same people. So the number seven actually is a hermetic number of Thoth. The number of perfection. Exactly. The number of perfection. So now, the question was, are Black Americans connected to Thoth? And if so, how and in what ways are we connected in Thoth that we didn't even know? You know, things that you do on a day-to-day basis, right? Or your attributes, your mindset, your resilience, maybe. No. I mean, I do know, but you know, it's live, so I don't know. But we definitely about to figure it out. I mean, for the most part, everybody already said yeah, from what we've been breaking down. I also agree that there is a connection between us and Thoth. I believe that there's a deep connection between us and Thoth. You know? Because remember, Thoth was a mortal, and he became a god through the wisdom from the gods. Okay? He was mortal, and he became a god from the wisdom of the gods, right? Kind of like Adam and Eve eating from the tree of knowledge, gnosis, right? Eating from the tree of gnosis, knowledge. All right. The serpent in the Garden of Eden, was it Thoth? Since now we know that the serpent is one of Thoth's symbols, so is wisdom. And wisdom is also tied to the divine wisdom, Sophia. So what if Sophia is Thoth in disguise as an avatar? So many questions. We're going to get into them, but not tonight, though. This is a 3-part series. Can't give you everything in one part. Any relations between Kukulkan Khan and other Triple K, besides them just stealing the name? No. Ain't no connections between indigenous people and white supremacy. Yeah, Medusa. We can do it, Cali. You know, Medusa. You'll be surprised, all the same people. You know, the Virgin Mary, Maya, Virgin Mary, right? Same. We're going to get into it. What's happening, Divine EP Peace? What's happening, Red? AI Summary said, discussing the connection of Black Americans to ancient deities like Hermes. Oh, man. So, how are we connected? Well, how are we connected? Well, this is going to be quick, and I'm going to break it down real simple, real fast for you. So, here's why. Hold on. I think I got to go back one. Nope, that's it. So, Thoth, and here's why. So, the connection, Black Americans and Thoth. Quick little beginner points. Wisdom, right? Wisdom and knowledge. Thoth embodies recording history, preserving culture, and teaching wisdom, which mirrors how Black Americans have preserved their history, knowledge, and creativity through centuries of oppression. Wonder where we get that from. All right. Creativity and innovation. Just as Thoth is credited with writing, science, and inventions, Black Americans have been innovators in arts, music, literature, and intellectual thought, shaping global culture. Wonder where we get that from. Speaking of art, music, and literature and intellectual thought, those are attributes of Thoth and Hermes. Hermes is Thoth. Well, those are attributes of Thoth, right? We just read that. And amazingly, those attributes is some of the attributes that we are excellent in. And it shapes global culture. Okay. Mediator and guide. Thoth is a bridge between the divine and humanity, like how Black communities have often been leaders, guides, and moral voices in society. Survival and resilience. Thoth survives as a perennial archetype across cultures. And similarly, Black Americans have endured and maintained identity and culture across generations. So, just off of those little quick beginner points is how we are connected to Thoth. And as I read and broke down, and I can keep breaking it down, all of these are stuff that's dealing with the soul. Your soul. You talk about recording history, preserving culture, teaching wisdom, writing, science, invention, arts, music, literature, intellectual thought, moral leaders, guides. Soul. Followers of Thoth are children of the sun. Not Christians. They ain't Christians. But the followers of Thoth are called children of the sun. And I'm about to break that down right here too. All right. Wasn't the followers of Thoth called children of the sun? And we could find this in the Emerald Tablets, the Neg Hammadi, and all these other books, right, that I presented to y'all. Wasn't the followers of Thoth called the children of the sun? And we just read that too. So yes, in some esoteric and mystical traditions, particularly Hermetics, which is what you woke up to, right? Theosophical and occult writings, followers of Thoth were often referred to as children of the sun, right? And here's what that means. Symbolic meaning: sun as divine wisdom, right? Divine feminine wisdom. Remember I taught y'all that your sun gods were your sun goddesses and your moon goddesses were moon gods, as being that Thoth is related to the moon. And Suna, soul, is the sun. Remember that? So the sun is divine wisdom, Sophia. The sun represents illumination, knowledge, and divine consciousness. Children of the sun. Illumination. Illuminati. Who's the real Illuminati? Remember, they love corrupting your shit to making you hate it. Okay? Children of the sun, those who study Thoth's teachings or follow his wisdom were considered children because they receive and reflect divine knowledge like the sun reflects light. Okay? That's why they was called children of the sun. All right. The connection to Thoth. Thoth was associated with the moon and cosmic order. But in mystical reinterpretations like Theosophy or later Hermetic texts, he is sometimes connected to the sun as the source of enlightenment, meaning he's the right-hand man to Ra, right? The scribe of Ra, right? He's the scribe of Ra, right? So he is the source of enlightenment. You got to go through him to get to Ra. Enlightenment, Ra, third eye. Okay, so children of the sun were seen as initiates or disciples who carry forward Thoth's wisdom into the world. Thoth's wisdom into the world. Carry Thoth's wisdom into the world. America's the real old world. America's called Atlantis. Carrying wisdom into the world, probably meaning bringing Europe out of the Dark Ages and bringing civilization to North Africa, which thus begins the so-called Egypt over there that we have today. How did he did that? How did the children of the sun and the seven sages that was with Thoth do that? They brought wisdom. they brought knowledge, mathematics, astronomy, architecture, agriculture. They brought alchemy, pyramid building. Because remember, Thoth is also a pyramid builder, and he built plenty pyramids, as in his historical ancient texts. All right. Let us make man in our image, in likeness. Every god has a different population that is made in their likeness and image. So who is Black Americans' God? Who likeness and image are we made from? Because when you talk about Buddha, that's Thoth. See, that's a trick question. Because most of these guys is the same God. And remember, the knowledge of the great beyond came from the Asiatic Negroes. Remember we read that? Who's the Asiatic Negroes? The glories of the great beyonds and the creation of religion came from the Asiatic Negroes. Who's the Asiatic Negroes? So we look like our gods, those who are tied to us, right? We are the descendants of these deities. Yep. We got people in our community that look like Buddha. We got people in our community that look like Thoth, right? Nose is pointing like a beak and shit. Appreciate that, Stu. You know. But it get real deep though, man. This is only part one. I don't want to overload y'all or nothing like that, but this is only part one. We're going to get into a lot more. I'm just being real. There's, some of our people got big noses and stuff, you know what I'm saying? You were made in a likeness. So tomorrow, when we do part two of this, we're going to dive a little bit more deeper because there's a few more names that comes up in this story about Thoth the Atlantian. All right. And it started breaking down how other gods are actually other deities. Just like how we just did with Thoth, there's other gods that's like that too. You know what I'm saying? He ain't every single deity, but there are other deities that ain't tied to us, because remember they're having a spiritual war. Okay, so for those of us who are children of the sun, right, this is where we at right here. Okay, this is where we at. You can doubt it, but I can prove it. You know what I'm saying? When you woke up from religion, you got back into what you call in modern times spirituality, But if this was ancient times, you got back into hermetics. You got back into esoteric. You got back into agnosticism, gnosis, knowledge. That's what you got back into once you woke up from the religion spell. Okay? And you know this to be true. You started what? Sun gazing. We just read what the sun did and where we get the information from. You started grounding. You started sunbathing. You started doing spiritual baths. You start taking your herbs, your holistics. You start studying herbs and holistics, right? When you concocting your herbs and stuff like that for certain things that you're taking it from, that is alchemy. You dig what I'm saying? You start doing your meditation. You start burning your sages. You start keeping your gemstones. You start trying to raise your vibrations. You start caring about what you put in your body and your mind. You start cleaning your consciousness so you can elevate, you know what I'm saying, and just and reach the best you that you can be. You know what I'm saying? You have a thirst for knowledge. You have some wisdom. You are intellect. You have the very attributes, which is the likeness. When they say likeness, let us make man in our image and likeness. Likeness is your attributes. The image is what you look like. Your likeness is your attributes. Your attributes is the same attributes that we just read about Thoth, the Atlantean. Because you know us Americans gonna act like Americans, man. Stop playing with us. You feel what I'm saying? And there's other gods who are actually Atlanteans that people don't know about. Like Medusa. Medusa is from Mexico. Medusa and Khalifa have good similarities. In Widget, the Egyptian god Widget, Medusa, Queen Khalifa, Maya, Isis. Man, we're going to break it down. We're going to break it down. But I ain't going to overload y'all tonight. But we hit our 3-hour mark, though. I hope y'all enjoyed the live. Hope you learned a lot. Hope you soaked up a lot. Hope you got your screenshots. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for the likes, the love, the gifts. Appreciate y'all for tapping the screen. Shout out to those who donated to the Cash App. I really do appreciate it. Y'all the real MVPs. Hey, man. Welcome to agnosticism. We breaking it all the way down, okay? If you are interested in grabbing a copy of my book, the link is in the bio. Reclaiming Our Consciousness 1 and 2 and Eclipses in America. I got 3 ebooks out there if you're interested in grabbing a copy. Furthering your knowledge and information. I talk about a lot of stuff that I don't cover on TikTok at all. So you get exclusives. If you want a cushion coffee mug or tea mug, let me know in my comments and I can send you the link to that. You know, cushion coffee mugs is out and ready as well too. If y'all want to support the channel. With that being said, I ain't got nothing else. Enjoy the rest of y'all night. Vibrate high. Peace, prosperity, abundance, gratefulness, gratitude, and appreciativeness. Practice serenity. Control what you can control. Let go of what you can't control. And have the wisdom to know the difference so you can balance out all karma in your life, whether it's good or bad. And also teach the kids what you didn't know. Because psychological colonization starts when they're young. And we can't just be parents that rents and grandparents that rents. We got to be guardians and we got to guide them to the light. We children of the sun. Y'all already know it's time to activate. See y'all in these TikTok streets, man. Peace, 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 peace.